Welcome to PM Beats. We're so glad you're here. Please take a second and welcome the people at your table in your area. Let them know they matter, that you're glad they're here. I don't know what is happening out there in the world, but I'll tell you what's going to happen in here. Starting today, we are going to spend the month of November celebrating hip-hop history and herstory month. Y'all didn't know about the powerful ladies in hip-hop also. That means new enrichments. So tomorrow, B-Boy Randy will bring the new breakdancing squad back. Morgan, also known as Cotton Candy, will be doing an MC school for people who want to learn how to write and express yourself. We will be focusing on learning how to make your own loops and your own beats. In Beats on Beats this week, in the library, if you need homework support, you got a project, you need math help, today is your day. We have all these incredible service learners. We've got amazing instructors that are here to help lift you up. That'll be happening in the library. In the Beats Lab, our new enrichment known as Beats Gaming is starting today in the Beats Lab. That means sometimes you will be learning how to program video games and sometimes you will be playing video games. Both shredded beats and sports are now going outside. DIY and visual art. I heard a rumor that we might be making some slime in here today, or you could work on posters for hip-hop history and herstory month. Are you ready? High five one person, go make it a great day at Beats. We love you, we're so glad you're here.
So the Beats program started in 2014. It is one part of the larger 21st Century Community Center Learning Grant that Bellingham Public Schools applied for, competed for, and won. The district decided to focus the grant at Chuckson Middle School for a variety of reasons. Middle school is a hard 3 years for kids, and in the city of Bellingham, while overall not the most diverse city in the country, Chuckson itself is a beautiful array of humanity. We have 50% Caucasian, non-Caucasian, students of color. We've got, at its high point, 23 different languages spoken in the school. So there's wonderful teachers, amazing staff members. The culture here is fantastic, and there are still students and families for whom engagement with the school and the community is, there's still barriers to that. So we came in and thought, what can we do to create learning opportunities that might be a little bit outside of the normal school day, that gives students and families a chance to connect with their education, with their community, and feel like this is a center of learning. And that's really what the Beats program is. And our AM Beats program, which happens before school, is really more of a kind of quiet, soft landing space where kids get a lot of homework support. So you can get the homework help on either end of the day. Afternoon is more enrichment focused, more big energy, and the morning is a little bit more academic support focused and more relaxed. So some components that make the program unique. One is we have the federal dinner program here. And kudos to the district for procuring that so that families and our students can come in and eat. Anyone under 18 can eat for free, and anyone over 18 it's $4. But that gives us the opportunity at the end of Beats, at the end of the PM Beats day, to feed our kids and make sure that they're nourished. If the family's struggling or if they're just growing teenagers and need an extra meal, that's something that we provide them. And so that adds to the community space feel. Right now we have 686 students in our school, and last year Beats served 343, which would be a full half of them. Obviously having relationships in school and getting support has had a positive impact in every measurable indicator, from our kids miss fewer classes. We really see a improvement in some of the behavioral indicators, being on time to class, and just the way that the student surveys around how they think about themselves as a student and as a learner, and do they feel a part of what's happening here. I think the sense of belonging which is so critical in the early puberty stages, has been a really wonderful indicator that we're doing the right kind of work at the right time. Partnership with Western is critical. The service learners who have come down for 4 years, undergrads and graduate students and teaching candidates who have come and donated their time and gotten to know students and listened to them and have been able to report back to us on what they're hearing and what the students are saying, and just having more, it's like a kind of like a one body where we need the humans who come down and volunteer are kind of like nerve cells where they're sending the information back that if there were just 6 or 7 of us running a program for 100 kids, we might not get to all the kids. So to have that ratio brought down where we have more caring adults and young people in the room who can listen to our students. How are you? What's happening for you? What are you struggling with? And we're able to address both the social emotional learning that needs to take place inside and outside of our program. We're learning a lot about the programming, things that they're interested in learning about, what their changing fears and needs are. And we couldn't do that stuff without the service learners and the partnership with Western, which is just, I feel so lucky to have that in our community and as a part of this grant.
Yeah, I remember the first meeting we had with Sean and some of the BEAT staff. And our first question was, what do you need? And I think everyone at Shucks and that team were kind of taken aback because we would later find out that it was different than how they've built partnerships in the past. Being embedded in an actual school, I think, allows the students to take more ownership in learning about the school setting in a way that if we were just at the university, it would sort of be this extra experience that's kind of nice, but we truly are learning in the community.
Right.
And I think that means that in a recent example, as we're having them learn more about the context of Chuckson, we're having them really own the research. They're looking into social media, they're looking into the district websites and asking more questions. We have students who are learning about the history of Whatcom County and the history of Bellingham as a way to sort of understand where Shuckson and its surrounding community is today. And I don't think that kind of ownership and self-direction would happen if we were just at the university, sort of, looking from afar.
And I would also add that I think what's also really powerful is that, being at the school site right now with these incredible middle schoolers, it brings me back. It's one of these things when I feel like for us being in the space and seeing some of the questions, the tensions, like we're witnessing the same thing, right? So sometimes there's moments where we also have to pause and say, wow, that was interesting. How we need to think about that some more, right? Because and then you realize that there is these moments where just because we're trained in the field, because we have doctorates in the field, that it always is a moment, an opportunity for us to learn alongside our students as well. And I think that encourages, in our students and in this work, especially as aspiring teachers and human service professionals, a certain humility about how we come into it, because they witness us being also humbled in this moment with young people to say, yeah, that was a struggle. We need to think collectively, how might we do this? And so to let them know, and I think that humility is really important as we enter these spaces, that recognizes the complexity of the work, it recognizes that we don't know everything, that we have to think about what the students and the community partners have in terms of the expertise, while also building a certain literacy about how, the experience here at Shuckson is part of a nested community that has multiple, so the neighborhood, the school, the community, the large areas, and how these fundamentally all intersect and interweave into the experiences that they're having in this one-to-one interaction with the student, right? And so I find myself really excited about the possibility of what this could lead to for re-envisioning what teacher education should be about, and the kinds of possibilities that allow us also as teacher educators to think more creatively and deeply about how we too partner with our community partners in this work and show humility in that as well. So I think it's been an incredible experience for that.
Yeah, and I think about the experiences that they're having now. In the future, were they to go into a teacher certification program, they have all of these lived experiences and learning in an actual community. that will in many ways make them more advanced learners in your typical teacher cert program. And I think that's what the profession needs.
Right.
Another reason the grant's very successful is we've hired a lot of amazing people, and I am not scared to say I am unabashed about hiring great Western people from Western. Most of the people who I've hired over the years have been because they were doing their service learning here. I saw how they worked with kids, and I couldn't get the offer sheet out fast enough to give them jobs and see if they wanted to continue to work with us as they go on to finish their schooling. And so we just keep plucking them. The work stays community-based, the relationships have stayed strong, and so it really creates a vibrant community of learning where the kids, their families, their brothers and sisters who are younger, they now see Beats and feel Beats as a part of their community that they own and they're engaged with. And I think at this point it's safe to say it's bigger than any of us, you know. And now that the relationships are built and the brand is built, I see no reason why this is couldn't keep thriving for generations. So that's the dream.